from the pages of MikeHuckabee.com, where you can read my columns and have some wit and wisdom delivered right to your email inbox every day, twice a day, with my free, and yes, I did say free, newsletter. We're on the front lines of the culture war this week, and it seems there's an ever-growing number of once unthinkable things that people are now expected not only to tolerate, but to praise, or they will face the wrath of the PC mob. How about Planned Parenthood? Their plan is to spend $45 million pushing pro-abortion candidates in the 2020 election. Now, despite Republicans' promises to defund Planned Parenthood, the organization raked in more than $600 million taxpayer dollars last year. Oh, but they say the tax money only pays for women's health services, and we should trust them on this. Then there's the drag queen story hours at many libraries across the country these days. At these events, male adult entertainers dressed as sexualized stereotypes of women are passed off as acceptable children's entertainers. Just what kids need, right? Now, before you say, oh, what's the harm? Well, take a look at what someone else told parents about these story hours, and I quote, "I understand you might want to look like you're with it, that you're cool, that you're woke, that you're not a Nazi, that you're not a homophobe, whatever it may be, but you can raise your child to just be a normal, regular child without introducing them in gay sexual things," end quote. Now, who is politically incorrect enough to dare say that in 2020? Some Christian pastor? Donald Trump? Ricky Gervais? No, that's actually from a Twitter video that went viral by a gay drag performer named Kitty Demure. Now, if liberals want to show how open-minded they are, stop using kids to demonstrate it. And if you're so enthralled by drag queens, why not hire one to host the Golden Globes next year? By the way, I would nominate Kitty Demure. She's got more sense than most of them. Now, let's find out what's on your mind with some questions from our My Two Cents emails. We get this from Deborah in North Carolina. She says, quote, "I'm totally hooked on your TBN show, Huckabee. I suggested it to my husband, and now we can't wait to watch it every Saturday night. I often watch repeats of the show every time I catch it. Thank you." And what can I say? But you're so right. You are so right. Thank you. We love it that you love the show and hope you tell lots of folks. Now, we have this from Sorrel in Utah. Has a change of heart when he writes, around 2007, someone said that Mormons should have been exterminated and someone should finish the job. It seemed to me all the time that you and John McCain gave tacit approval to those remarks. This left me with a very poor opinion of you, most likely undeserved. My opinion softened when I saw your daughter go into the circus as a gladiator day after day. Lately, I've watched your Huckabee Show YouTube segments, and my opinion of you has turned 180 degrees. This could have been fixed by me 13 years ago had I bothered to seek clarity from you, or at least follow the commandment to pray for you. Well, Sorrel, thank you. First of all, thank you for saying you wish you to check this out 13 years ago, because I can tell you this, I never heard that before. Never, ever heard somebody say that about Mormons, and I would have been highly angry and offended to say that about anybody. I've worked with Mormons on many social and moral issues and found them to be terrific partners. We may not agree theologically on a whole lot of things, but I'll tell you this, some dear friends of mine who are Mormon are people who I'm proud to associate with in standing for things that are good and right, and I would never have said that, and I'm grateful that you have come to the conclusion that both John McCain nor I probably ever heard such a ridiculous thing, or we would have spoken out against it. Finally, for my Twitter page, where you can follow me at GovMikeHuckabee, a shout out to Democratic candidate Tom Steyer for his smiling face and dapper dance moves on the podium outside in the cold today. And if the Dems choose their presidential candidate on dance moves alone, we can clearly see you've left Bernie Sanders in your dust. And a shout out to this man who drove all the way from St. Louis to Richmond, Virginia to stand with thousands of citizens against Governor Northam and his desire to remove Second Amendment rights.
Okay, why am I out here? Basically, I'm out here because I got roped into it by the group of guys you see standing to my right. But the real reason I'm out here is I do not support in any way, shape, or form Governor Northam's and the Democrats' gun control. What I also don't support is the fact that every news piece you've seen on this weekend, they've always brought up the issue of race, as though it's nothing but white rednecks and hillbillies out here who care for the Second Amendment, when actually Black Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, Americans in general care about the Second Amendment.
As he said, there was no violence at the protest in Virginia this week, no burning down the governor's mansion, and obviously it was not a white supremacist event as the fake news media would try to paint it. And if you wonder why these constitutional rights and amendments are so vital to our lives and nation's future, consider Benjamin Franklin, who said this: "A democracy is two wolves and a small lamb voting on what to have for dinner. Freedom under a constitutional republic is a well-armed lamb contesting the vote." Well, until next time, these have been Facts of the Matter. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, then subscribe, and hit the notification bell below. Now, if you didn't like it, you ought to find a Ben Shapiro video to detox you with more facts.